Good morning, everybody. Shawn Thomas here, representing the new brand, Fuck Failure. And of course, I've got the Most Won't I Will hats out here. Real quick, just want to say, make sure you guys get your hashtag Flex Fridays in on Fridays. Love seeing your Flex Fridays. If we're getting so big now that if I don't respond personally, please don't take offense. I do read every single one of them, so keep those Flex Fridays coming. Let's jump right in. I've got 30 minutes, so I want to jump right into these questions. We got a lot of questions today. If you're catching this on the replay or you're watching this live, make sure you go into the event section every single day and just check and see if any new events are posted, and make sure you ask your questions to the mentors. Remember, you can also ask the same question to all of the mentors to see the different responses that you get from each mentor. Really important, because you'll start to understand that all of us have our own unique way of doing things, but we all say pretty much the same thing in a different way. And that's the cool thing of talking to different mentors out there. So make sure you ask questions of all the mentors. And thanks, Vicky, I appreciate you. And so let's get this live stream going here. First question comes from Jarrell, who just joined. Welcome. Jarrell's question is, I'm working on branding my personal brand. Where do I start? Also working on writing my book, and I have a title, A Practical Guide to Understanding Children and Adults with Disabilities, Getting the Tools to Becoming Employed. The master class for Instagram, is that in the video classes? Okay, so Jarrell, a couple questions there. Let's get started. Where do you start with your personal brand? Well, the first thing I would recommend is go over to the Tribe portal, the online portal. It should be tribe.mostwon'tiwill.com. In there, you're going to see, when you're logged in, you'll see the Tribe Resource Center. In the Tribe Resource Center, there's a whole section on personal branding. Get started with those articles. There's a bunch of great articles in there, and it can help you start determining all the things that are needed in order to create a personal brand. That's the first place I'd get started. As far as the masterclass for Instagram, the masterclass for Instagram is over. I just concluded the last class last night. We also have a Facebook group that will be available to those masterclass attendees for the next 3 weeks. We will have a replay of the masterclass, possibly, not sure, because I'm also working on a mini course that's going to be a little bit more elaborate than the masterclass. So I'm not sure which we're going to use on an ongoing basis, but there will be some sort of digital course that I put together for Instagram very soon. Thanks for the question. Flora has a question. Her question is, when reviewing your business weekly and monthly as well as quarterly, what metrics do you look at? For example, do you look at the size of your list and the conversion rate, or do you look at profit and loss, etc.? When you're at the beginning stages of your business, you'll look at different, what's called KPIs, key performance indicators. When you're first starting your business, you'll look at certain key performance indicators more often than others. Personally, I love to focus on top line sales. And the reason why I love to focus most of my energy on top line sales is because I know that my margins are accurate in my business. So if my top line sales are at the level that I want them to be at, then it's going to flow through to the rest of the company. To get to those top line sales, to make that revenue, I know exactly how many phone calls, how many meetings, how many presentations. I know what I need to do on a daily basis and a weekly basis in order to reach my top line sales numbers. In my business today, in AskAMillionaire, I have it narrowed down to this. On the days that I can commit to 2 or 3 live streams on my AskAMillionaire Instagram account, I know that that will produce a certain number of new members in the mentorship group, which is my goal. I'll also get a certain amount of people added to my email list, which email has not been a high priority yet for me, and we're starting to work on that. It's important as a business owner to understand what key performance indicators are important for your business. But of course, your profit and loss statement and your balance sheet are the most important to your business. That's your health detector, if you will. Every single month, I like to reconcile my financial statements and make sure I know exactly what my profit or loss was for the month. And that's the highest level indicator in your business. Once you start to grow, you can start getting into forecasting and budgeting, and that's a really exciting exercise to go through. And that's when you normally would bring in some sort of chief financial officer that is inept at putting together those reports for you in your business. Hope that helps, Flora. All right, Lila has a question. She says, hi, Shawn. Following your advice, I have been in touch with 7 incubator and accelerator programs. Lila, I just love how fast you're working on this stuff and you're just taking action. They have all said the same thing, that they only take on businesses that have already had customer engagement and revenue. UCL, a university that is ranked in the top 10 globally and where I did my master's, offers a launch program to their alumni. The next cohort is in January and I'm eligible to take part. The only downside is that my business partner won't be able to attend. She will only be allowed to take part in the pitch at the end. She is not a UCL alumni. I don't mind this. It's a free 8-week program with a chance of pitching to investors. The UCL name is huge and having that potentially associated with the business is a great opportunity. I'll be interviewed for the program and don't want to wait until January. Do you think it would be wise to prepare for the interview and pitch from now by investing in a coach or mentor? Ooh, that's a tough one. You know, Lilas, so for those of you that don't know, Lilas is building out a website platform that's kind of like the Angie's List for interior designers and architects and things like that. Maybe not architects, but designers. If I was going to find a mentor at this juncture of the business, I would want to find someone that, if you're going to go after a round of funding, I would start trying to get some mentors that are expert in raising capital through angel investors and doing different Series A and B rounds of funding. I would also, you know, I tell you, I'd probably hold off on a personal coach or a mentor unless there's certain tasks that you're having an issue with. You're probably still in the need of a mentor or coach who is in the 15% part of your business, which 85% of business is overlap, regardless of the industry or the product or service category. But 15% is all about the product, service, and industry. You might want to start looking at finding somebody who can help you with that 15%. Someone who has built platforms in the past, managed the technology teams, can understand cash flow, can understand marketing, can understand customer acquisition costs, and all of those type things. You might want to seek out some people like that for sure. That would be my guess. Also, as we talked about, I'd start looking to see if you could start doing some of your feasibility studies as soon as possible. Hope that answers your question. Congratulations on the UCL. I would take advantage of that 100%. Next question is from Ari Brown. Hi, Ari. She says, hi, Shawn. I have 1 employee right now, but will soon be having her and 1 more start doing sales as well as bookkeeping and assistant work for me, and both are out of state. My biggest priority is sales first, but I don't know if I should have a process in place beforehand or just focus on sales and worry about that later. Okay, you're going to have the same person doing sales that might be doing bookkeeping that is setting them up for a disaster. I don't know any bookkeeper on the face of the planet who would make a good salesperson. Be careful putting the wrong people in the wrong job. That's setting them up for failure. What's really important is to put the right people in the right position to do work for you. So I don't think your bookkeeper and assistant type work is going to be somebody that you want to use for sales. So I would urge you to take a look at that and make sure that you're putting the right people in the right place. Now, the next thing is, as Tom Black has talked about, I have talked about, and every mentor has talked about, your sales processes should be in the form of a system. I would highly encourage you to keep asking Tom questions and maybe even hire him to consult with helping you put together a system for your sales process. Very important to get your scripting in order, your handling of objections in order, your pitch and presentation to follow a system so that everybody's doing and saying the same exact thing to maximize the amount of closure rate that you're going to get. So yes, I think that you should put those processes in place first. Next question is from, I'm going to mess up this name, but I don't know if it's Jerline or Gerline. You might want to let me know, Jerline. I'll just call you girl. She asks, how may I attract more online consultations? That would be a huge help for me because I wouldn't have to pay rent on them. I don't even understand what that means. Apart from Facebook groups, I've been doing Facebook groups already, and they've been good for in-person consultations. I'm a dietitian, so the marketing may have to be different than product sales. Thank you in advance. Gerline, I have absolutely no clue what you just wrote. How do I attract more online consultations because I wouldn't have to pay rent on them? Oh, okay. So you're saying if you can get online business, that would mean that you wouldn't have to pay rent to an office to be able to meet with them. I think that's what you're saying. Okay, so without knowing more about what you do, I'm not sure what advice to give you. It sounds like you're trying to build an online personal brand in order to be seen as an expert for dietitian type needs, and you're wanting to build an audience that likes you, knows you, and trusts you so that they'll hire you for your services. If that's correct, then just like Jarrell in the beginning, I would start with the personal brand section in the Tribe Resource Center. Listen, as someone who has been doing this for 3 years and does this every single day of the week, every month, all year long, building a personal brand to do online sales takes a long time, and it is just like any other business. It takes a lot of fucking work. And so you got to do everything that people like me are doing. You got to build your brand by getting a great brand style guide, determining what your brand represents and how you're going to position it, get the domain, get all your social media channels, start putting out content, start utilizing the conversion strategies to get your followers into your sales funnel, which means you have to develop the sales funnel. It's a lot of work, just like any business. I would start with building a personal brand in the Tribe Resource Center. And when you need additional help, you should book a phone call with me, because having one phone call with me, I'm going to be able to cut your learning curve time, tremendously, and tell you exactly where. Because if I know exactly where you are in that cycle, I can tell you exactly what the next steps you should be taking are. So that's why having a one-on-one phone call with me would be really important. But it starts with building your personal brand, becoming known as an expert in your industry, and then marketing. There's Facebook ads, Instagram ads, you can do Pinterest, you could do Twitter, you could do any of those social media channels, but building out that list and then developing an email marketing campaign. It's all in the Tribe Resource Center. It's a lot of work and it's fun. I love it. And I agree with you that online sales for what you do might be a great path to take. Okay, next question comes from Aaron. Aaron says, I've been working hard on my business over the past month, and I feel like I finally solidified a service I will be offering future clients. Awesome, Aaron. With this increased effort on my business, my director has had some concerns with my effort at my day job. Okay. She actually called me into her office for a one-on-one meeting and stated that she feels I am not as engaged. She asked me if I was happy with what I was doing. I froze because honestly, the more I work on my business, the more I get discouraged about the accounting lifestyle. Of course, I feel that I need a job right now to maintain my progress on my business and to support my family, but I can't see myself wanting to grow within this profession in the 9-to-5 setting over the long haul, and others are beginning to notice this as well. Any guidance? Okay, so Aaron, I really appreciate you asking that question, because it's a very common question of people that are trying to transition from a job to owning their own business. Here's the thing, Aaron, you owe it to your employer to be the best employee that you can be. It is not fair of you to do a half-assed job when you're getting paid and you're on the clock for someone else. When you're on the clock for someone else, from the time you step in that office till the time you leave, you should be doing the best job possible that you can do. Okay, you owe that to your employer. Your employer works really hard to provide an opportunity for you, and it's not fair of you to take advantage of their generosity in providing a job for you. It sounds like your director is an amazing director to pull you in and have a conversation, and you owe it to your director to be honest with them and let them know what's going on. However, with that said, By being honest with your director and tell them that you're building a business on the side, you might not have a job very, very long. So you got to be very careful and tread the waters there. If it were me, I would probably keep my mouth shut. I would tell my boss, thank you for bringing me in and talking about it. I've just been having some things in my personal life going on, but I appreciate it. And from this day forward, when I come into the office, I'm going to make sure and do the best job I can for the company because I appreciate the job and I need the job. And then as soon as you walk out the door, you can take off, this is your employee hat. As soon as you walk out the door, you take this hat off and you put on your self-employed hat. And you put that hat on and you go right back into thinking about your business. Remember, you're only working 40 hours for your company probably, so you've got easily another 40 hours that you could be wearing this hat working on this business. But you owe it to your company to do the best job you can. They're the ones providing your benefits, your paycheck, all those things. So make sure you're doing a good job at work, okay? All right, next question is from Austin. What's up, Austin? Austin, Instagram questions. Are there any tools you'd recommend to help with creating quality content more efficiently? There is, okay, so listen, there's content creation and then there's content management, two different things. To create quality content, the most efficient way would be to hire a graphic designer. That's the best way. That is the most efficient way for you to create quality content for your Instagram is hire a graphic designer. There's just no other more efficient way because listen, Austin, you're not a graphic designer. Quit trying to be a graphic designer. The problem with you is you think you need to do everything yourself, and it's going to be the downfall of your business. As soon as possible, start trying to use freelancers, okay? Now in the beginning, since you're not going to be making any money with this, what I would say is if you're going to do it yourself, keep it simple. For Instagram, all it takes is a white background or a black background with thoughts and make it an Insta blog. Make it just easy Insta blogging where you put up an image or put up a background with a quote on it or something and then write a caption which serves as your blog and starts getting the attention. Or you use photos that you can find on the web and you use those photos. But there's nothing more efficient than hiring a graphic designer. You can also use programs like Planoly, which allow you to upload your content into that social media management software, and you can do what's called batch creation of content. So you spend a whole day creating content for the week or for the month, upload that content into Planoly, set the times that you want the content to be posted on Instagram. It reminds you, and then that way, it pops up on your phone. Oh, I got to post. I click post. It posts it for you, and you're all set. But that's the most efficient way. Second question for Austin, if my goal was to reach the 10,000 targeted followers mark in a time frame of 6 months, assuming I am already spooled up on Instagram advertising and would manage it myself, because Austin does everything himself, what type of marketing budget do you think I'd need to set aside to accomplish this? And would you recommend using influencer shout-outs, paid advertising via Instagram, or a combination of the two? Austin, here's my question back to you and to every person that talks to me about using Instagram. It's not about the number of followers. It's about the number of customers you're going to get. So unless there's a clear, concise strategy, and it could be a short game or a long game, but make sure that you've got a clear, concise strategy from the circle of the whole cycle of Instagram. If your goal is to bring in 10,000 followers, then what does that do for you? What does that mean? Okay. What I would say is, I want 10,000 followers that by the time I get to 10,000 followers, at least 2,500 of those people I have built on Instagram and are now on one of my email lists, of which I'm providing value to them on a monthly email newsletter, and I am making offers for products and services and monetizing. Understand the whole cycle, not just the followers. Don't get just caught up on the number of followers. I know people that have 150,000 followers on Instagram and don't make $1. They spend so much fucking time on Instagram, and they're wondering why they're not making money. They're working their butt off. They're putting out content. They're answering questions. And I go, are you asking for a sale? Do you have any product to sell? You know, you don't start a business and go, you know, I'm just gonna go start a storefront. I don't have anything in my store for anybody to buy, but I just need to go ahead and get a store down the street and put Austin's store on it, and I'll just go ahead and keep that store open for the next 6 months until 10,000 people walk by and go, I wonder what that is. You see what I'm saying? So have a plan of action of why are you building those followers, and why not have a product available to sell them today? So it should be to build a follower, to convert them into your sales funnel, and then convert them into a sale. Don't focus so much just on the follower count, okay? I hope that answers your question. But to answer your question, to grow on Instagram, the fastest way to grow is through influencer shouts. I would recommend doing influencer shouts if it's in your budget. And it never hurts to try Instagram ads. I would hire a company to help you with your Instagram ads. I would not do it yourself. I wouldn't be the typical Austin, do it myself, everything. I would get somebody to help you. There's a guy in our group called, his name's Luke Nelson, and his partner, Jeff. I'd reach out to them and see what type of offers they have, okay? All right, I think I pointed out real quick that you don't need to do everything yourself, right? Okay, Robin Artis. All right, Robin says, okay, emotional challenge facing. Give me a bar to design, and at the end of the day, I have something tangible from the day I worked on and see the progress effort. In beginning this design firm and all the upfront work on branding, networking, etc., it's not tangible, and having a difficult time at the end of the day, feeling like I'm not getting anywhere. It's the patience piece that I'm fighting with. I know it comes down to goals and meeting those, but figured I'd throw it out there and how you dealt with the patience part. Okay, so Robin, here's the thing. Every entrepreneur, including myself, wants everything done today. We don't want to wait 10 years. We want it done today. So patience just isn't something that we understand. It's not something we want to understand. So quit trying to understand it. What you have to start remembering is exactly what you said. So here's your affirmation. Patience comes in the form of measuring your goals. If you're not managing your goals and measuring them, then you don't know how far you came. So if you say this month, for me to feel like I have made progress, I want to make sure that I did this, and this. And at the end of the month, if I can check the box that I did this, and this, then I feel successful, I'm happy, and I know I'm making progress. It's that simple. Rome wasn't built in a day, okay? It takes time to build the things that you're building. And as long as you can say, I did this, and this, then you have to understand that you just have to feel okay with it and know that that's making it progress towards the destination that you're seeking. Because here's the thing. There's a term in the coaching program that I took called living in the gap. And the gap is this. Let's say you set a goal to be successful, okay? Well, what happens is once you say, well, success in that reward might be that I build my business to $1 million business. Well, what happens is the way entrepreneurs are, we live in a gap. So we go, you know what? $1 million isn't enough after I make $1 million. Now I want it to be 5 million. Now I want it to be 10 million. And we live in this area of, imagine that you're looking out over the ocean, okay? You're on shore and you're looking over the ocean, and there's a place out there in the distance where the sky matches the ocean and it connects, right? There's that line across the water where the sunset meets the water, and you go, oh my God, that is so beautiful. When I reach that destination, that's when I'm gonna feel successful. The problem is as you get to that destination, the destination moves. So you never feel at peace and you never feel successful. That's called living in the gap. It's a very dangerous and emotional place to live. So that's why it's important to set those tangible goals and feel like a success when you reach those tangible goals. Each one is a step towards the right direction, and that's where the happiness must lie. Hope that answers your question. All right, Armand asks this question. Armand says, Shawn, can you talk about the business-to-business tactics that allowed you to grow Uniguest from no hotels to lots of hotel chains? Hopefully we can learn from them. So Armand, I don't like to sit here and make this a story session about me. I would rather focus on what you need to do in your business, okay? But I'm just gonna bullet point it and make it simple for you. When I started the company, I would drive around in my car and I would walk up to the front desk with a business card and I would ask for the general manager. And I would meet, if the general manager was available, I'd give him a nice handshake and say, my name is Shawn Thomas. I work with Uniguest. I'd like to talk to you about putting a computer in your lobby for guests to use. Do you have some time now, or can we set an appointment for me to come back? And that's how I marketed. As I grew, I started calling on hotels over the phone because I created a way for me to do an online demonstration with them on the phone, okay? And so I would call, I'd book, I would get past the gatekeeper, I'd talk to the GM, I had my script laid out, and I would try to set up an online demonstration. Then what happens is after I found some success with that, I hired a salesperson and I taught him how to do that. Then I started calling on hotel management companies and ownership groups that had 5, 10, 15, 20, 200 hotels. And I'd start calling on the main person at that contact to see if I could set up a program to do the business for all their hotels. Once I signed up a couple of those larger management companies, I then started calling on the hotel chains to see if they would make my product an approved or preferred vendor status for their hotels, so that when I called the hotels, I could say that I was an approved vendor or a preferred vendor. Then I started working with the hotel chains to actually build my product into the brand standards of their hotel chain. So I would call on Marriott and say, hey, Marriott, this computer system is already in 20% of your hotels, which it was. You know, why don't you just make this a brand standard so that when your hotel guests go from one hotel to the next, every single hotel has the same thing. And I did that, and I succeeded in that. And that's how I grew the company, okay? Hope that answers your question. Those were my B2B tactics. All right, Ian has a question. Ian says, Shawn, if you are on a bootstrap budget for marketing, should you start with one marketing message or do an array of messages that you planned and then double down to those that stick? So Ian, here's my thing, man. I don't like starting a company with a very low budget. You know, a business needs blood. Like your body needs blood to just survive and live. A business needs blood. And I think today, man, there's just so many people out there starting companies that are undercapitalized, and it's just not fair to your business. You know, a person should not go into business until they're ready to go into business. I would rather have somebody save up enough money to give their business enough gas, you know, fill it up with enough gas to get going. So that's the first thing I'll say. But to answer your question, you know, it's difficult to say, you know, I'm a sales guy. I'm not a marketing guy. I don't understand I'm just going to create a product or service and then I'm just going to throw advertising and wait for people to come buy from me. It's a very dangerous place to be in. And I think it's why a lot of young entrepreneurs are failing today, is because they're relying on marketing to do their sales for them. So I would, if it were me and I was bootstrapping and I was on a low budget for marketing, I would hire an expert to do my marketing for me. I wouldn't do it myself, because if you try to do it yourself and you're not a marketing expert, you can't afford to lose even the $1,000 you have. You have to make sure that $1,000 is like using a rifle, that rifle is going to hit the target, as opposed to a shotgun where 80% or 90% of your money is wasted. You need a rifle and you need an expert to help you. I think it's the biggest mistake that a lot of inexperienced entrepreneurs make. They try to go out there because they don't have a lot of money. They think, oh, well, I'll just do it myself. Facebook loves you because Facebook just takes all your money and you see no return. They just love you. Advertisers love people that are inexperienced, okay? They just love it. You want to make sure that you hire an expert, Ian. Don't try to do it yourself. If you're going to do Facebook ads or something like that, hit up Luke and Jeff, talk to them, get some advice, but hire an expert. When you are on a bootstrap budget, you don't want to mess around with your money. You want it to make sure you get a return on investment. All right, last question comes from Robin Turpin. Robin says, good morning, Shawn. For follow through and accountability with goals, what do you recommend in addition to one-on-one coaching for life and business and strength trainer for physical strength? That's a lot in one sentence. I don't know what the question is. For follow through and accountability with goals, what do you recommend in addition to a one-on-one coaching for life and business and strength trainer for physical strength? I mean, if you have a one-on-one coach, I don't think you need any more. I mean, if that's your question, what do you suggest in addition to that? I wouldn't recommend anything in addition to a one-on-one coach. I think a one-on-one coach is the ultimate pinnacle of person that can hold you accountable besides yourself. But listen, here's the thing. No one can hold you accountable except for you. Your trainer or your coach can call you and say, did you do it? But if you say no, and they try to motivate you and you still won't do it, then what good is an accountability coach? Unless you give that person to beat you upside the fucking head and put you in the hospital if you don't do it. I'm just being graphic here. I don't mean they should do that. Then the only person that can hold you accountable is you. And that comes from a burning desire within to make change in your life. And you might need someone to serve as the captain of your ship. Let's imagine you're on a sailboat and you're trying to reach a destination and you've never been on a sailboat before, but you know you'll do the work. You need the captain to say, go move that, go turn that here, adjust the sail. You want that person to give you the direction, but you have to go do the work. That's what a great coach can do for you. And that's the ultimate person to hold you accountable. The second thing you asked is, at this point, I want to join a gym and hire a strength trainer, as I know that will make a huge difference. But then I think, use the money to continue to eliminate debt. Okay, so Robin, when it comes to physical fitness, you don't need any money. You don't need any money. There is enough out there that you can do at home with body resistance exercises that you don't need a gym. I would rather see you eliminate debt than do a gym membership. If you make a plan and you stick to it and you research YouTube or even Instagram, you can find exercises at home with no equipment, push-ups, standing squats, lunges, all kinds of things you can do at home without having to go to the gym. You can play YouTube videos from your computer to do yoga, to do all kinds of exercises. You can invest in very inexpensive bands, resistance bands, that can help provide you some resistance and some additional training. Do that first. That would be my recommendation. If it were me when I was broke, I didn't have a gym membership. So I would put on my tennis shoes and I'd go run, I'd go walk, I would jog, I would do anything that I could. So those are some things that I would recommend. Talk to Derek. Derek is a fitness trainer here in the group. So is Dylan. Talk to Dylan, reach out to Dylan and see if people, and you could do a hashtag support Saturday. Hey guys, I'm looking to do some exercises at home because I don't have a large budget. Do you guys have any resources on YouTube or any videos that you recommend that I can do exercises at home? And you'll get lots of support there, okay? Hey, so that's what I would recommend. All right, so that's all the questions. We hit exactly 32 minutes. That was awesome. I hope you guys got some great answers from that. If any of you have additional questions on that, feel free to I'll put up another post today for my next event so you can ask questions in that event. I'll actually do one next week. I'm going to try to start doing one every week for you guys to make sure I'm that we get plenty of events in here for you guys. Let me just see if there's any comments here that I need to respond to before I say goodbye. All right, looks perfect. All right, everybody, appreciate you coming in. Make sure that you ask questions of all the events when the mentors come on. Take advantage of today. Today's Flex Friday. Let's hear your Flex Fridays. If you don't know what Flex Friday is, if you're new, go back to the Getting Started section of the Tribe portal, tribe.mostwon'tIwill.com. Log in. You'll see a Get Started section. That's where the video is that explains what Flex Friday is. So make sure and use Flex Friday. Any hashtag support Saturdays that you need tomorrow. Hope you guys have a great day, morning or night, wherever you are in the world, and love you guys. Have a great day. Peace out.